what's up, guys?
Yeah, we're
a man short.
We're 2 men short because there was supposed to be 2 people here tonight, but it's us. So
we're here.
It is not our normal day, so easing into the new year, I guess. That's one way to look at it.
We got beer.
Oh,
right. We got cars.
Oh, we do have beer.
We got
cars.
stuff to talk about. So.
Do we have stuff to talk about?
Actually...
well, are we talking?
You know what?
Stuff to talk about.
Since we're just kind of talking, and we are talking about beer, just kind of like talk about our nice little experience last night.
Yeah.
So we went to a local brewery, Cop Brewing in Crystal River, and we got to try some fantastic beers that we had not had before. Met the owners, really fantastic guy, and we saw our favorite Celtic band. So it was win-win-win.
Oh, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect, and
a little bit cool, but not too cool. So I was still full flip-flop Florida man.
Yep. No, it was perfect. Sorry, I'm turning this slightly up a tiny bit because I'm seeing the numbers on the thing. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could have been there. Mom got in.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
She called last second. Was like, by the way, I'm coming in town. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah, you should have packed her and brought her with.
I was getting to Ruka now. She's like, Shelby was like, yeah, no, Mom's coming. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, I'll see you Saturday then.
But yes, it was.
No, that was
I feel yeah.
But yeah, it was a decent time. It was a cool place.
Oh yeah. Well, because we've been to their old place many times, and when they were in like that, it was an actual house that they were in. And
back behind the post office.
Yeah, and they had the brewery plus the winery all in one thing. Now they are in their new location. It's opened up. It's so nice. They got a beer garden and all that. And that's where they do all their brewing at, but they still have the old place. That's where they do all their wine stuff. And it's just really cool to seeing everything.
And nothing is hidden. Like if you're inside and just like going in there to grab a bite to eat, sit at the bar, have a beer, just turn around, look over your shoulder, and all the tanks and everything's right there.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Hell, where we were sitting, there was a PVC pipe above us. And he's like, that's my auger
that's the
over
grain
there.
Auger.
He's like, and the grains, he's like, look in the window, and you look in the window, you see it go through the roof, and it goes down into the main tank that's where all the grains get, they get ground up, augered up, and then dropped into the tank.
Yeah, the mash tank. And he was explaining a lot of stuff. He knows.
A lot of chemistry stuff and all that. I'm like, you lost me on a couple of those things, and one thing to mention is all their tanks and the whole brew setup is not nothing's digital on it. The only thing digital is
the temperature
display. Everything else is
they're
he's like,
valves
I need
and
one,
levers,
yeah,
and
they're
full mad scientist in there.
I need 140 temperature water like in this tank. He's like, most places like you just go do 140 and it puts in 140. He's like, no, I'm sitting there turning this valve. Okay, now it's 138. Oh, now it's 145. I need to turn this valve for more cold water, and like he's like, it is a full mechanical setup.
Yeah, it's old school. And you can tell. He really enjoys doing this.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we started asking him questions, he just lit up and he was like,
oh yeah, he was going and just telling us.
He was basically like, okay, kids, stand back. We're gonna explain this. But yeah, like I said, super nice guy.
Yeah.
And the beers that we had was fantastic.
We're hoping that we're going to be able to do a
tour,
a tour through
like an in-depth of how he does everything and how it all works.
And he said basically just come up and we'll go through it, because I'm like, do like y'all do it? Like, can we book something? Like, do we? He's like, next time y'all come up, just let me know. He's like, as long as we're not super busy, I'll take y'all through it and talk. I'm like, I'll
have to bring the camera and we'll make a whole video out of it.
That's what I was talking about. And I told him, like, I'm like, you don't have to go into like recipes or anything like that. I'm like, I just want to see the actual like breakdown of all this. Oh, we need to turn off that light. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, we were fuzzy too.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
What happened?
I got it fixed now.
Okay. Are you sure?
We were fuzzy.
Oh.
No, we're not.
I thought it was.
We're no longer fuzzy.
Okay. Anyway.
All right.
So Brian, we saw your arm a bit.
Arms. I do have 2 of those.
It zoomed into the one.
Yeah. Well, I have the 2.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them here.
But yeah, no. I'm super excited about that, because he's gonna go into like the full like scientific like breakdown and all that stuff about it. So That's what I'm super. I don't understand any of it because it's full of chemistry, and I failed chemistry.
Yeah.
But
and then earlier tonight for one of the beers that I got, I stopped at another local brewery right down the road from us here at 9 States. So
yep, and we love them, and we saw the cans. Don't really know the actual beer that's in there, but we saw the percentage, and me and Chris both looked at each other like, wow. That's the lowest we've ever seen from them.
Because when I did, I did ask her behind the bar. I said, I'm looking for something that's not super high octane, in the 5 to 6% range. Something that's not. I said, because me and my buddies, we explained to her what we do. So yeah.
Yeah, because before I haven't been there since the grand opening.
Yeah,
at that point, everything was
everything was double digits.
The lowest was 8.5.
Right. Yeah, it was.
It
was like 8. It was like 8.5 to 12.5.
Yeah.
Right. Boom.
I mean, everything was delicious. Everything that we tried was delicious. It was just the fact that it was all higher octane stuff and all that. And it's like, we're trying to sample with this and that. But yeah, no. Well, they're one that they had at the Brewfest, that like chili.
That was
the one with the chili peppers in it.
I remember that.
That was
fantastic.
That one was great. That one was great because it complemented it so much because you had that dark beer and then that had the bitterness and that pepper, like the chili peppers. You got the spiciness, but the darkness and bitterness of the beer like toned it down to where you got that perfect heat. With almost
but it wasn't the heat that just lingered and set your throat on fire. Yeah, it was just a very light little burn, and then it went away when the alcohol took it away.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was some good stuff. But that I think that was a special just for the
Brewfest. I think it was.
It was only like a little pony keg.
It was like a one-off that they did.
Yeah, that one was good. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that.
But
that
one was good.
Actually, it's probably in one of the little TikTok videos that you shot when we were
it might be, yeah.
Hey,
I'm sure that's in there.
Probably in there somewhere like that. But yeah, we had the Red Level Red last night, the Blood Orange Creamsicle Cream Ale.
Yep.
And then at the end, we finished off with the Double Black Stout.
Yep, and then the Double Black Stout with
the vanilla port wine splashed in it, and
yeah, that was a combination that we didn't think was gonna work, but holy moly! So, like, I'm not a wine person, but their wines are amazing. Like, even their dry stuff in that, I like.
Yeah.
Sabrina had one on her flight that was fairly dry. The flavor was alright, but it was definitely dry.
Yeah, but it's still one of those, like, I would drink. Like, I would actually drink them.
I can't do the sulfates though. Sulfates. I sampled a few of them last night, and I definitely woke up early this morning with a headache.
Yeah. But this was that double barrel aged stout, and with a splash of that.
The bourbon. Well, there was the bourbon balls that Jason had. That was like 11.4%.
11.5.
11.5. And then the one that we had was the double black stout,
which he found a hidden supply of, and that's why he gave us a pint to split between everybody.
He set that one up, and he came out and he gave one to the sound guy, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, what's that?
He gave one to Steele, and said, he's like, why is he getting it? I'm the manager.
And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Steele, what's that? And he was like, oh, and he handed me the cup. I was like, I'm sure. He was like, go for it. And I tell you, I was like,
oh yeah, because he was done for tonight.
And I was like, oh hell yeah. So then I went back and told them about it. And then Fran came over to see how we were doing, and that's when I mentioned. I told him, I said I sampled the stout that you gave him, and he was like, you like it? I was like, it's fantastic. And he was like, want me to bring a glass for you guys to split? Sure. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he brought a pint over, and we all, even Sabrina, before she tried it with the wine in it.
Yeah, and we told her, but she likes stouts. Like if there's a beer that she's gonna drink, she likes stouts.
Some stouts and some reds.
Yeah.
But she's not a big beer person.
No, she's not at all.
It was like, here, try this. Everybody liked it.
Yeah, and the great thing was, it was only 7%, and so it wasn't, blow your head off with the amount of octane, but it wasn't super bitter. It was smooth. It wasn't heavy.
It had a malty finish.
Yeah, malty finish. It wasn't a heavy stout.
Yeah,
which was great.
Yeah, it didn't sit heavy on you. Mm-hmm. It wasn't overly carbonated. It was a fantastic beer.
It was wonderful.
But
Mike had said that's what happens to his wife too. She gets wicked headaches from it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Thunder Wide. So then it was that, and then we put their porter their dessert wine.
Yeah, the vanilla port.
And it was almost like a white chocolate taste to it.
Ooh. Yeah,
and
it was witchcraft.
Yeah, so you had this wonderful stout with, it was sweet, but it wasn't overly sweet finish to it, and it was almost kind of like a sweet berry finish is what I got, like almost like a chocolate covered cherry type deal.
It was weird. It was
like
weird how it was weird how it worked out, but it was freaking delicious.
Because you had that dark chocolate like taste of like the stout, then you had that bit of like the sweet cream with like a berry-ish hint to it, and then back to the stout finish, and it was like just. Oh.
Yeah, everything just kind of sat there and just mingled. You were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I'm really sad that I didn't make it.
Yeah, it was.
It smelled great too.
It was sorcery in a cup.
Yeah, we're both looking at each other like, oh, everybody was looking at each other like,
what just happened?
Yeah,
how?
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Amazing.
How the hell do you? I mean, it was witchcraft on the level of the oatmeal cookie stout witchcraft.
Yeah,
that's kind of witchcraft we're talking about here.
You could taste every different thing in it. But I gotta give a huge shout out to Fran, because at that point he saw the looks on our faces, and he had the biggest smile on his face.
I mean,
you could tell, like, yes, that is something that I have been developing for so long, and like he was just like the happy parent of like,
he said there was like 15 or 18 different grains in that beer. I mean, he really was doing his thing, but it was
it was different, but it was a good different.
Yeah, it
like,
was very tasty.
You could taste so many different things in it.
Yeah, it's very tasty. And again, like the main thing was, I mean, he's just a cool dude.
Oh yeah,
just a really cool dude. So,
and he loves cars too.
Yeah,
and all that. Yep. So it was one of those, getting to talking with him. It was, he was as passionate. Like, his main passion is beer. So it was like how we talk about cars. He lit up. Beer. He lit up with that. Right. But he also, like, his way with cars is like how we like beer. Like, we know about them and all of that, like, but we're not scientific like that. Yeah. So it was, our conversation was actually like really cool, because we got to see like the total opposite of what we are, of knowing this, like, we know the science of, the cars and like aerodynamics and like all, like how the numbers work and all that. And we like beer, and we love the different types, but we don't know exactly what goes into them. And so it's the total opposite.
Yeah, he likes cars,
but his passion
really knows
is beer.
His shit with beer. And
it's sort of like we like beer, but we really know our cars.
Yeah. He liked cars. He really knows his beer.
And it was crazy to sit there and talk, and the way he lights up of when anybody says like, "Hey, did you see that 4-eyed fox body out there?" And I'm just like glowing, like, "Let me tell you about my people. Hold on, help is on the way, dear." Like that's me. Like, that's him when you bring up anything with beer. So. But yeah, no, it was a great time. We had so much fun out there. The place is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, the beer garden's fantastic. Beautiful. Yeah. And the food's good.
Yeah, yep. I had to smoked salmon with
flatbread.
With the pitas, and that was amazing. And Sabrina was like, I don't know. She tried. She was like, this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I had the Cuban sandwich. Joe had the
sliders,
the pork sliders, and the pastrami sandwich.
Yep. And that pastrami sandwich looked freaking amazing. It was a big old sandwich. So we had a great time last night.
If you happen to be in Crystal River, stop by Cop Brewing on Highway 44. It's worth the stop.
Oh yeah. And you can buy all the glasses, the flights. You can buy all their wine. I don't know if they I know they fill growlers with the beer, but I'm not sure if they have.
I think they do sell growlers up front.
Yeah, but I don't know if they do like can packaging.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Because I know, like, with 9 State, like, that's fairly recently that they started doing like an actual can.
Because the last time we had them on the show, Sabrina got us a growler.
Yes. Yeah. That was the one thing that they were doing.
That was the Into the Fire.
Yeah, which was that was so good.
Yeah, they're. Yeah, like when we were there for their opening night, everything we had was delicious.
Yeah.
And the one we had in the growler for the show, that was also delicious.
Well, since we're talking about them, do you want to do their beer first and yours second, or do you want to do your beer first? Yeah, let's do
that. Do their beer first.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, since we're talking about them and that. And I really want to try their food options, too.
Yeah, their menu looked good.
Yeah, because I remember the only time I've ever been there was opening night.
Yeah, same here.
Everything that they had on tap that I tried was
fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Yes, everything
was really good.
Yeah.
Like, everything was distinct. It had these like really complex flavor profiles. Every beer they had,
even like I said, it wasn't like some of the high double-digit alcohol content beers where you tasted that alcohol and kind of toned it down a little bit. Theirs was just, it tasted like, because I tried some of their lower octane versions of the same thing that night, and it was like, they tasted the same.
Right.
They were both really good. So, yeah, we'll have to go back there too. Now, especially now that they got food in-house to kind of do the whole deal.
Mm-hmm. That was the one thing, is you're looking around, and when they first opened, it's like, okay, so you got like
a couple of bars, a bunch of tanks, and a few seats and tables.
Right.
Well, they still have, a couple of bars, a bunch of seats and tables in the tanks, but now they also have, a cooler, and
right.
They're serving food, so.
And that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go into detail about, with the beer, like with the name. It was also one of those, we didn't actually see the name. It was just kind of, I saw the percentage and was like, okay. I don't think there's a description.
Beer.
Oh, there is. There's a description.
This is 9 State Brewery Schwartz beer. 4.9% alcohol by volume. German dark lager. A smooth, medium-bodied lager. Not even readers. Brewed with a touch of dark malts.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you read it. You have
okay. It's a German dark lager. It's a smooth, medium-bodied lager brewed with a touch of dark malts, giving the beer a hint of roasted flavor while still remaining very drinkable. It is brewed and canned by 9 State Brewery, 200 Tompkins Street, Inverness, Florida, right here, right down the road, mile and a half, 2 miles, down the road. Right next to our favorite pub, too.
Yeah, right catty corner across the street.
Literally right across the street from Pine Street,
it's
which y'all hear us talk about all the time.
It's like a 5-minute ride from here.
Yep, if that, depending on...
That's out of focus, guys.
Depending on traffic.
Yeah. Ooh, not that carbonated.
Not super fragrant on the nose.
But the fact that it's this dark and it's only a
4.9.
Yeah.
Not very carbonated at all. I'm not getting much of a head on that at all.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a head, but it fell.
I was going to say that was, in that last quarter of it, I've hard poured and that was all I got.
Yeah, and considering some of the difficulties you've had.
Yeah, I've had recently hard time pouring beer. Like, I've been pouring beer lately.
I smell chocolate. That toasted chocolate smell.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
Screw this, guys.
All right, cheers. Happy New Year. Ooh.
Nice.
There's a little tartness right there. A little tartness. Like, do y'all taste that?
It's not dry at
all.
all.
No, but there's that initial hit of like a little bit of a tart. Little bit. And then,
I get what you're saying.
And then like a dark chocolate finish.
I'm not really so much getting chocolate.
Just a deep toasted malt.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just at like a nice malted, smooth.
Okay, and that's good.
That is
and
fantastic.
Again, not heavy. Like, it's not like heavy sitting in the stomach.
Not heavy at all.
Because we've had some that are this dark or even less dark. That
just sat on you.
Oh man, you get halfway through it and it's like eating an entire loaf of bread.
Yeah, you're like, I am full.
That's amazing.
That is absolutely fantastic.
And I think until tomorrow evening, one of the reasons why we picked them up was because they were having a 20% off their 4-pack sale. So if you're local to us, guys, go into 9 State, and pick up a 4-pack of the beer. You're gonna have 20% off, and you're not gonna be
honestly
disappointed with anything.
Honestly, forget the 20% off.
Full price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go in and get one of their beers.
But also the fact that this weekend's
just happened to be a deal. But yeah, like I said, go in and get their beers.
That is incredible.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good.
That is just that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they have quite a selection in the cooler there too. It's not like just a couple of them. They have
kind of like how Marker is.
Yeah, they have a really good variety for their takeout packs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
honestly, it's probably on par with, or actually a little bit more variety than what I found at Swamphead the last time I was up there.
Really?
And Swamphead is not skimping on the number of beers they have in the cooler. So
well, they normally, especially like their main popular ones, like Big Nose and Stump Knocker.
Yeah, they had that in there too, but I mean they also had stuff that I hadn't seen any of the distributors or stores before too.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about having a lot of these breweries close to us. Like we really need to start venturing a little bit more south. Because I mean we've gone up to Gainesville to do Swamphead. I really want to go to.
I want to go to
First Mag because like that Wakula one. Every single time I see that is my favorite Hefeweizen.
Yeah, that one was fantastic.
That is amazing. Like just the flavors. I've had really good Hefes with since then, but nothing has hit that.
Right.
And it wasn't like it was my first like Hefe, and like so it stuck. Like I've had plenty before that.
Yeah,
like,
but that
one just hit every single box.
Yeah, that one was really
every
good.
box. It's almost like how Hawaiian Lion like hits all our
What'd Mike just say?
Picked up some Red Right Return the other day.
Oh yeah,
good beer.
Red Right Return is and we're a very red ale.
Especially
group.
with the cooler weather.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the weather started turning cool, and I spent the last 3 months trying to find a red ale at Total Wine.
Well, even besides that, it can be the dead of summer, and I'm going to pick one of my favorite reds, because, I mean, hell, if I can find Robonaut Red, it'll be 110 degrees, I'll be sweating my ass off, but I'm drinking that. Like,
you're going to send me a message saying, hey, guess what I found?
Exactly,
right.
because
right.
that...
See you in 20 minutes.
That is by far my favorite out of all the... We're up to, what, like 230 something? That is still my top number one.
That red.
Well, no. Beers, period. That Robonaut Red is my absolute favorite.
I'm still thinking Hawaiian Lion is...
Well, I mean, Hawaiian Lion, depending on the temperature of that, the Robonaut Red I could drink year-round.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it was pretty warm out when we discovered the Hawaiian Lion, and...
At that point, we were already...
And also,
we were 2 sheets to the wind at that point.
But also, too, the temperature of the beer was really cold when we started, and it was warmed up a bit when we killed the keg. So we got that one at all temperature ranges. And,
It got to the point we didn't even have the little cups anymore. The guy was just giving us solo cups. He's like, y'all the only 2 coming over here. Just here. And we're like, okay. You're like, you got a designated driver? We're like, Sabrina waves. She waves. We're like, okay, here you go.
Just hook it to my vein.
Pretty much. Hey, can we just put the keg on wheels and just let it walk around with a straw?
Right. Can I just...
Oh yeah, no, that one was amazing. But no, this
Sullivan's. Yes, we have tried one of the red label one, Sullivan's. Okay.
Is that ABC and Crystal River though?
Yeah, it was one of the British beers.
Oh, was that the one that that the longer we let it sit out got better? Remember
Probably.
that one? That once it hit about 50-something degrees?
Yeah. Malting's Irish Ale, yeah. I remember that.
Yep.
It's an Irish beer.
No, it wasn't that one, but yeah, no, the one English one that I'm talking about. Remember that one that we literally let it sit out for like another 25 minutes?
I'm looking.
It was an Old Speckled Hen because I love
No, that was the one that was. They've got the picture on the bottle of where they brew it, and it's brewed in like
the well
water
from
and the ancient brewing cask.
Yep. Yeah, they use the same well
because they've got that and they've got the chocolate beer. We've done both of them.
Yep.
And those are fantastic.
I forgot the name of it, but it was the one. Yeah, it was the one that the well water has been the same for the last since 1830 something.
Sullivan's, Mathings, Irish Red Ale. That was the same night we also did the Markerade from Parker 48.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that was the. Yeah, just north of Napa. Yeah, that was the red label one.
Yep.
And they've also got another one that's a yellow label. I don't think we've tried that one yet.
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't either.
I've seen the red label one.
I saw it at ABC Crystal River.
Oh, okay.
But I think on subsequent trips, I don't think it was there anymore. But
okay.
They did have one that was yellow. I'm not sure if it was an ale or a lager. I'm really not sure. It might have been an English ale. But yeah, that one was pretty good too.
Yeah. No, yeah, that one that we got that we ended up leaving, that one was Because it wasn't fully, it wasn't like 35, 36 degrees when we poured it.
Oatmeal stout.
Yeah, it was probably closer to 40 degrees when we poured it, and it was amazing. And then we started talking about something, and we came back, and it was middle of summer, so it was one of those. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
So and it was one like within 10 minutes, it had jumped another 10 degrees, and I remember I took a sip and was like, "Wait a second, this tastes." A
10 degrees difference made it taste like a different beer.
It was
and then another 10 degrees beyond that,
and
when it hit 60, that was just like, all right, now it's time to go.
And it was one of those it was like lukewarm water, but you're like, no, this has so much more flavor than what it was cold. Like it was.
The English brew their beer to be drank at room temperature.
Yeah, because Lucas makes
the refrigerators.
But no, that was one of those beers that transformed over and I want to see what it would have been like to get it off the shelf and drink it at shelf temperature.
Yeah,
and seeing what that would be like, because I bet that would be one of those beers that, like, unlike a Coors or whatever, and you drink that room temperature, yeah, I bet you that would be really really good,
including their chocolate stout.
Yeah. Oh
yes.
Oh yeah. No.
I think one of these times we are going to have to, each of us, go through the list. And we'll probably have to kind of throw this in just so we don't end up getting the same thing. We probably should go through our list and actually pick out our absolute favorite one and see if we can find it again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know I can.
That might be different. What was yours?
Brew Bus, Rolling Dirty.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's my favorite one.
Well, and same thing with Diver Down. Like, I think those were, like, seasonal, like...
No, I see Diver Down.
See, I haven't seen Diver Down.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a long time.
I've seen that one at Publix.
Well, you're my boy, Blue. I see that all the time. But yeah, no, I haven't seen Diver Down in a while.
Yeah, like I said, Hawaiian Lion, Einstock.
Yeah, Hawaiian Lion I see all the time.
Yeah, Hawaiian Lion, Einstock, see those pretty regularly. Like I said, just recently up at Gainesville, we did see Key Billy sitting on the shelf, which I was like, man, I haven't had
literally right next to Hawaiian Lion.
Yeah, when I was up there and I saw the two together, I was like, I can't, because if I do, I'm gonna walk out of here broke.
Yeah, right. We got 3 beers, and I left there with I left there spending $56.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you left.
But Sabrina did find a 12-pack of which we didn't know was down south yet. The Dunkin' Donuts hard coffees that are 6%, and they don't have artificial sweeteners.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because artificial.
Well, I mean, from what we could tell from the
juice.
box, I mean, we'll find it once we open it up, and even if that case, that's going to be one that I will deal with the headache if it tastes good. But they're not like the other ones that are like 4.5%, 5%. They're 6%.
Yeah.
They're 6% hard coffees. And it's made with real coffee, so you're gonna be an energized drunk.
Great.
It's like Four Loko, and you're gonna get the shits too because it's coffee. I probably shouldn't drink it.
Man, Four Loko days were something else, man. Yeah. Hey, do you want to get drunk and have a bunch of caffeine? So what we're doing is we're essentially turning you into an alcohol Hulk.
Yeah,
that was. I mean, that
you ever tried meth?
That was.
Here you go.
That was the shortcut of mixing Jolt Cola and Captain Morgan.
Right.
It was one of those. I want to try meth, but I don't want a felony, so I'm going to drink this.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to know what it's like to do meth without getting addicted? Here you go.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's supposed to help you on your college exams.
Right.
Yeah, we see.
It was blackout in a can.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should probably talk about cars for a little bit.
Ah.
Any car spots?
I saw an Amazon van in Inverness.
One of the Rivian ones?
Yes.
Cool. What does it look like in person?
Oh, wonderful.
Like,
well, I've seen it. I've seen it in Spring Hill a bunch of times, and when we've gone up to Ocala.
So, what does size look like compared to, say, the Transit? The 150 Transit.
So
van?
the Transit high tops, the 350 ones, like the dual axle and all that. So the Transit high tops that are normal, your delivery ones, add about probably 6 inches of length to it. some of it is in the actual wheelbase too, because the rear tires seem like they're set back a bit more. They're almost like, the van style UPS and FedEx ones, how they're a bit longer than the normal transits, about that size. Decent size roof on it. Really good looks. I actually like the looks of them. I mean, you have somewhat of a kind of bullnose, like the Rivian look to the front of them, but the overall design for even being a package transporter, really decent looking.
Yeah. So last night I had
let them get over to the UK, and that'll be the new Ford Transit of how many stores are they gonna rob?
Right.
Yeah, so I had 2 spots yesterday that were pretty good. I had the blue OBS that just happened to park up in the Arby's parking lot.
That was a bullnose. That was a bullnose.
Well, still, it was nice. It was. I mean, it had a little rust in the lower cab corners that had been repaired, but not fully.
OBS is considered 91 to.
That's close enough.
See.
Yeah, but still, that's what.
That's a heavily debated subject, because technically anything from 79 to 97 is an OBS Ford, because they are the same truck.
Yeah, but they also have, at that point, once you hit a certain year, you have different distinguations.
But that's the thing. So
is that a word?
Yes, it is now.
So all of those distinctions fall under OBS. Those distinctions are how you separate the different styles of OBS. So you've got the bull nose, the brick nose, and the arrow nose.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them are OBS.
91 to 97 is the arrow nose. Before that is the
brick nose.
Brick nose, and then bull nose is 79 to I think 86.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, it was a budget respray.
It was a sidestep though, right? It was a
it was Fleet.
It was Fleet, okay.
But the panels were straight. It didn't have, like I said, it looked like it had a rust repair done in the lower corner.
Mike saw a 56 Nomad on Monday.
Nice.
Those are 2-door, right? They weren't
4-door.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Nomad wagons were 2 doors.
Yeah, 2 doors.
Basically a Bel Air, kind of think of a Bel Air 2-door wagon. And then at COP, air-cooled 911, 993.
Yeah.
With a whale tail.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a narrow body. It didn't have the wide hips on it.
Mm.
You guys saw the pictures of the Duster I sent you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was...
With the hog ass cam?
I wish you guys could have heard this thing. That cam was just slapping.
Potato.
It sounded so good. Yeah. He rolled up into the Wawa while I was getting gas, and I heard it as he was pulling. I heard... And I was like, oh, what is that?
It's a song of my people.
I hear a mean cam and a V8 with a push rod. What's that now?
Oh, yeah. No. But,
that's
a B body, right?
No, Mike, it was black.
I think they're B bodies. They weren't the A bodies. I think those were B bodies.
What?
The Dusters?
I think those were A bodies, small cars.
The B bodies were the bigger ones.
Yeah, I think the B body was the Charger. I'm not entirely certain on the Mopar speak.
Believe you might be right there.
Okay. I don't know. They were either A or B bodies.
Oh, yeah, and a white G-Wagon this afternoon.
AMG?
No, it wasn't an AMG. It was just a G-Wagon.
I was going to say, I've seen a couple of the AMG ones.
Yeah, there's a silver one that runs around Crystal River sometimes.
There's a black one that runs around here, and I got to say, those things sound fucking good.
The thing that
especially with the side exhaust when you're on that side, they sound fucking good.
Hey guys, we're Mercedes and we can make really cool things and we can make rugged things when we want to. So let's make this fantastic off-roader. Awesome, we will make this fantastic off-roader. Hi, I'm your customer. I'm never going to take this thing off-road.
Well, same thing with Lexus. The only way you can get besides the new Land Cruiser coming out, the only way you can get an actual Land Cruiser here is get that Lexus.
Yeah.
And I finally, because we've been looking at SUVs and all that, not to replace Mustang, just as something else.
A bodies, B bodies, or Chargers and satellites.
Okay. But we've been looking at stuff, and she wants something with good tow capacity, because at one point we want to get a little camper and all that. And
you're gonna be caravanners.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but it was one she's looking up. She's like, "Oh, Lexus, there's no," and I'm like.
And then you're going to take your SUV and you're going to go to the store and you're going to buy stuff and then you're going to take it to the tip.
No, but it was one of those. She's like, oh, Lexus, that can't tow much. And I'm like, what Lexus was it? And she said what it was. I'm like, that's a Land Cruiser. She's like, what? I'm like, that's a Toyota Land Cruiser. I'm like, that thing can go off-road better than some of the fucking off-road things that we have that are lifted up and all that stuff. On the way home today from Walmart, we passed by a blue, it wasn't the newest gen, it was last gen's one, that just had maybe a 2-inch lift on it, slightly bigger tires, snorkel, overlanding kit on the thing. She's like, what's that? And I'm like, that's the Lexus that I was telling you about. But I'm like, and it mud slung down the side. I'm like, because that thing is an off-roader. That thing could go anywhere. It's amazing.
GX470?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just a Toyota 4Runner.
No, it's a Land Cruiser.
The GX470?
Yeah.
It's a Land Cruiser.
No, which one am I thinking of? What's the Lexus version of the 4Runner then?
It's the small, whatever the smaller number is. But yeah, no, what he's talking about.
No, it's the only way you can get an actual frame on body. I think they're
for
frame
you
on
guys,
body.
Body on frame.
I have the answer, by the way.
For
what they're looking for. Toyota Sequoia.
Well, the older ones, yeah.
That is the answer for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
The older ones, V8.
Oh yeah, the I-Force V8, you can't kill them.
They're 500,000 mile vehicles.
Yeah, they're the one UZ, right?
2UZ.
That's the second gen one, right?
Yeah, the 2UZ. Those, I think the early ones don't have VVTi, and the second ones do have VVTi.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, well, I'm fully down with those because I love the look of them.
And I actually see them go for cheap. People are sleeping on those. Yeah. Like they're high mileage, but I see those going for like $3,500, $4,000.
Yeah, but if you get one that's been well maintained and used properly,
it doesn't matter how many miles are on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that in our search because we've been looking at our goal would be the Explorer ST because I love those and that, so I can still have a fast vehicle.
Palm Beach Sando got theirs going pretty quick.
Yeah, so I can have a fast vehicle still, but also they have an actual really good towing capacity and that, because I mean you have 500 horsepower and whatever amount of torque, you're able to tow shit and that with it. But besides that, the Durango RTs and that with the not the 392 ones and all that, because I don't need my credit score on the fucking side of it. Also, I can't afford that because that's not my credit score. So we're just going with the regular RTs with the regular 5.7 Hemi. But with that, there's 390.
So 392 is aspirational.
yeah. So we need the 292 on the side of the car. But yeah, no, they're 370 horsepower and I think 390 torque and all that. But still, it's a Hemi V8. It's still a reliable engine. Those Hemis go for thousands, 100,000 miles, and it's a V8 and it sounds great. I can throw exhaust on it and it sounds
just
like a
maintain it so
thing.
the lifters don't collapse and you're good.
Yeah, and transmission. But it's one of those. I totally forgot about the older Sequoias, and I would definitely do that. Because even older ones, they still had a decent amount of technology that is still around.
But on top of that, it's a Toyota.
Yeah, runs forever.
It's a Toyota. If you change the oil and make sure it never loses its coolant,
you're good.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, every once in a while, you might need to change the spark plug. I mean, that's
it'll be fine.
Yeah. So, obviously, we actually have 8 people that are steadily watching us. So, current viewers, 4.
Yeah.
We have 4 people.
Okay.
4!
All right.
Half of 8.
Okay, well, the rest of you, say something.
Yeah. So I have to, since it's Saturday Night Special, what would be your Saturday Night Special? And by that, I'm talking about you're going out with your honey, you're going to cruisins, all that. You're going stoplight to stoplight. It's not going to be take your car to, the drag strip, but you're going stoplight to stoplight. Someone pulls next to you, you're going to run them. Because that's what you do. Even if you're in a minivan, if someone comes next to me, I'm going to fucking run them.
That's what every high schooler did, regardless of what shitbox they were driving.
Right.
Yeah, but it's your
Chevy Corsica.
Yeah, it's your
Aerostar.
It's your Saturday Night Special. What are some vehicles that you would go hey, I'm going to go stoplight to stoplight. Let's fucking do this.
80s Fox bodies, 80s F bodies.
I mean, that's kind of like the pinnacle of it.
Turbo K cars.
Oh, true. Well, I wouldn't say stoplight. I wouldn't say stoplight to stoplight on that.
Technically, I'm too. I have you on my big screen TV and my phone to interact.
I got mine.
Not Japanese K cars, Chrysler K cars.
Actually, Mike, that still counts as one because you're signed in on the same account, unless it's a different account on the other device.
I can't remember which one it was on. It was either Hot Rod Garage or Hot Rod TV. I can't remember which one it was on. But they built that drag race van. They built a custom, like an old school van.
Talking about the red Chevy?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Roadkill van.
Oh yeah.
Van.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Roadkill van that they would use that to go on. They would use that during Power Tour.
Yep.
Yes, that van.
That was also the one that they tried to race and that they blew up the transmission in, and
Yeah.
they did typical Roadkill things with.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But that van.
Yeah.
That would be my Saturday night special.
I don't blame you with that because I mean that's also one of those afterwards you can go park and
Listen, then you go park up, beds in the back. Let's go.
If the vans are rocking, don't come a knocking.
Teenage Shaggin' Wagon.
The old fuck truck.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, as teenagers, whatever you were driving on the Saturday night was the Saturday night special. Even if it was your parents' car, didn't matter. No, Dad, I didn't race your car at all.
See, I would go
Dad's
with,
old hot rod Lincoln.
yeah. See,
He had a '98 town car.
I would go with SRT4 Neon. I mean, from our generation of that was teenager. That was the fastest econo box that you could get. That your insurance would still be somewhat decent, and your parents would agree to it because they didn't know about it. But they would be like, "It's a neon. It's a neon.
Right.
It's got roll-up windows in the back. No matter if you get power windows in the front.
It has a smiley face up front. It's
exactly. But then you have 265 horsepower to the front tires. Now you're going.
That was factory too.
Yeah.
Those cars were pretty gnarly.
They came from the
could
factory
do
with
those
no
things.
muffler.
Yeah.
And they sounded fucking good.
Yeah, those cars were pretty gnarly.
They sounded good.
Yeah, that fan had a Lingenfelter engine, I think.
Hey, Robbie.
Might have, yeah.
Yeah, no, those. I love the SRT4s. Or even before that, the ACR.
The ACR
Neons.
Neon. Yeah, that was more.
I mean, then you also had the ACR SRT4 Neon, but before that.
Well, the ACR, that was not so much something you're going to race down the street. That was something you're going to take on a curvy road.
You're full on going everywhere.
I mean, yeah, that was essentially a body in white race car sold to anybody who wanted to pony up for one.
Yeah. Or you got the Z34 Berettas.
Those actually did sound pretty decent.
I know.
They had the 3.1 liter V6, just like my Corsica.
Well, they had the 3.1, then they also
they
they finished with the 3.4 because they went from the Z31 to a Z34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ended with the 3.4.
And if you got
when I was born,
if you got one in teal,
that was the best.
with the gray interior,
yep,
with the teal trim inside the wheels, you were 90s balling right there.
That's what my mom had, and when I was born, I was the reason why that car got sold.
Wife's account on the TV for Mike. Yeah, GLHS, Robbie. That's a solid one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not many people really knew what those things were. Those things
Goes
were
like hell some more.
Yeah. What about the one we saw at Garland's for the Drag Week thing a couple years ago? It said GLF on the back.
Oh, that was a shit. What was in it?
It wasn't the Omni. It was the sister car to the Omni.
Horizon.
The Horizon. It was a Horizon, but it was done up. It had a turbo 2.2 and the whole 9 yards in it. But then on the back of it, it looked like the factory GLH decal.
Because we walked by it, we're like, oh shit, and then we stopped, literally at the next car, and me and Brian looked at each other. I'm like, did that decal say what I think it just said? And we literally went by, and the guy, I felt bad because the guy was trying to eat fucking dinner because they literally had to stop there and then go to the next place.
Getting ready to go back down to Bradenton. But we stopped and we turned around and looked at it. I pointed at the decal. I was like,
and he's like, you saw the decal, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes, we did.
So we started talking with him about it, and yeah, no, that car was freaking amazing.
Oh yeah, like I said, not just that one, but all of the 2.2 turbo Mopar cars.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, another good one?
No, like the Plymouth Laser.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Daytona got all of the street cred in Daytona. Like everybody knew the Daytona, but the Laser, nobody expected to see that thing have a turbo in it.
Uh-huh.
A buddy of mine had one, and yeah, you could definitely hurt some feelings with that thing.
Oh yeah.
Another good one. If you want to go sleepers, so the Pontiac Bonneville that had the supercharged 3.8.
Any of
the
those
supercharged 3.8 cars.
Olds Intrigue.
Yeah.
Any of those.
So the Bonneville was the
SSEI.
And that
The old boxy one especially.
Well,
I love that car.
one. You had less horsepower, and that the gen afterwards, my Aunt Patty had one, and that in the teal with the kind of greenish bluish interior and all that. Then after that, that's when the next bigger body style.
Aw.
Hey, I still got that. I need to put that on the car. That's the license plate frame that he gave me. I need to put it on the car. It was supposed to go on the car before we went to the show, but I got the car running.
Yeah, you got the car running.
So that was the thing.
And now we've got the brakes sorted out finally.
Yeah, I just need tires now to actually fully be able to drive it.
That might not be Maypops.
Yeah.
Those things are cooked.
But the rounder body style Bonnevilles, that was when you first got the V8 in those cars. You won that line of cars. It was a North Star in it, but that started where afterwards you had the Grand Prix GXP that had the 5.3 in it. So you started with the Bonneville with the North Star. It was crazy. It was North Star, but still, I know North Star engines get shit on and that, but
deservedly so.
Yeah, but for what they are, I mean, besides their horrible engineering things, they're actually decent power for what they are.
They're good until they break.
Yeah, until they break. So that's why they decided to go, hey, we're throwing the LS4 in it. We're going to make it front-wheel drive. You're going to have 320-something horsepower to your front wheels. Torque is going to be almost 400. Good luck. Good luck. Have fun. You turn left now. You're trying to turn right. You turn left now. That's what you
whereas
do.
the old Turbo 2.2 Mopars,
Plus, you turn right now.
You turn right whether you want to or not.
When you go to shift, make sure to lift your arm up, and then when you go to put the throttle down, pull back down. Because if you keep it where it is, you're going that way.
Right.
Yeah. When you're on the power, you're keeping it out of the ditch. If you don't lift up when you clutch,
you're going into opposite ditch.
Going into the opposite lane. That car just wanted to live in a ditch.
Doesn't matter how you align it, it's going to pull towards the ditch.
Well, it's because it had one half shaft that long and one half shaft that long.
Yeah, right. And it was the rubber band effect. That second one that was super long,
it would twist.
This one would be spinning so much, and it would be like, oh, there we go. Inertia.
Yeah.
And potential
energy.
Yeah, not kinetic. Potential energy. It would just store up, and it would just...
And then it would become kinetic energy.
Yeah, correct. Whether you like it.
It was kinetic. It was kinetic energy.
Or not.
Yeah, it was like kinetic energy. Your ass right towards the ditch.
Yeah, no, but I would totally get one of those.
And also too, I mean,
V8
keep in
cars.
mind, like I said, the Daytona at least came with Goodyear gator backs. You could actually put a tire on the front of that thing that would help. All the rest of them,
no,
they were 175s, 185 tread width tires, and they were absolute trash.
And that was performance. If that, you got 160s.
Yeah, they were absolute
little tiny shits.
They were absolute trash tires. So yeah, any hope of keeping that little bit of power on the ground, not happening.
Even with the Gatorbacks are nothing. Well, compared to today's tire technology, the thing is I can get the Gatorbacks. They've done not Cooper, Coker tires. Bought the mold and all that, and they have started remaking the factory Gatorbacks for the Fox bodies. And it wasn't just Fox bodies. You had Fox bodies, the F bodies, all that. Used them. They are almost $400 a tire.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Nah, put something else on there.
Well, it's one of those. If you have a super low mile, completely stock car that has factory ones, and you actually want to somewhat take, even if it's a parade or something like that, you can't use old Gatorbacks. They're at this point, they're well over 30 years old.
Yeah.
At the latest point of production.
Yeah, they're cooked.
They're
well
non-safe.
and truly cooked.
Yeah, they're non-safe.
They're rubber dust at this point. They're not holding together anymore.
They're plastic.
If you have a car that's completely stock, showroom condition, hasn't been restored, but is a full-on barn find and all that, it's worth it to spend $400 a tire, and that's something that people who are trying to buy that vehicle won't be like, oh, well, this is aftermarket and all that. When it comes to tires, and and belts, and like rubber brake lines,
and coolant hoses and fuel hoses, you got to change that stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I can at least like say like I'm happy people are like finally because in the beginning they were like, oh, you changed it up. It's not safe, regardless of whether you're going to push it on a trailer and push it back.
Eventually something's going to break and leak.
Yeah, you can't.
Speaking of low mile original cars, apparently this past quarter somebody bought a brand new Jeep Patriot.
Oh, why?
That's been out of production for almost 7 years.
Oh. Interesting.
Well, you still have a couple LFAs there.
Hold on.
Bought. I'm gonna get.
There are
too.
Rational explanations for that.
Buy here, pay here.
And I can tell you what I almost
aspirational credit
guarantee is why that happened. That car's not brand new. That car's got 80,000 to 100,000 miles on it. It counts as a new car sale because
it was just titled.
It was just titled for the first time. That was a dealership car.
Which means it has full factory warranty from day one.
But that was a dealership car?
Maybe.
In like a loaner or a parts car. Like hey, we use this to go run between dealerships or something like that. More than likely, that's what that was. There's no way that car sat on a lot for 7 years not getting used.
It's entirely possible. I mean, because there's been brand new.
But at the same time,
but there's been brand new Dodge Darts and brand new Dodge 200s that were the same way.
I mean, if they're using it for that, if they've used it, if they've gone past their mileage allowance, they're supposed to title the car in the dealership business's name.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
I mean, it's possible, but oh god,
yeah,
that thing is that. Whew. I wouldn't take that car for free.
Right.
It's just problems.
It will financially ruin you.
It's just problems. Even with the factory warranty covering it, you will never drive that car more than a week.
Before something pops.
You're going to own it for 3 years, and you're going to get to drive it 3 days.
Yeah, because the rest of the time you're going to be replacing all the shit that went south on the lot.
Right.
Speaking of that, one of our car buddies, he's got a 95 Cobra convertible with the hardtop.
Okay.
They're all black and tan. Okay. He was at Meekum and Kissimmee a couple of days ago, and there was one that went across the line without the hardtop. He saw it. I don't know what it sold for. 14 miles.
Oh, wow.
14. But why? What do you do with a car like that?
Right.
I mean, I would just want to drive it, but then I know that before I could drive it, I'd be spending...
Everything has to be replaced.
Yeah, everything. Every fluid, every hose, every piece of rubber.
Even if that car's been kept in a bubble.
Every piece of rubber on that car is cooked.
Right.
Sorry, I had to pee.
So this...
We're not in the pool, so I couldn't...
This is an Aldi special beer.
And Chris is going to tell us all about its quirks and features.
Is it a twisty top?
Yes.
Okay.
And I am going to taste this and tell you all of its quirks and features.
Hold on.
First off, the top. The top is a twisty top. You turn it to the right, unlike the lefts. I don't know why. Sorry.
As you pour it into the glass, you'll notice that it develops a small amount of foam head on the top.
Let me put some of these things.
I don't know why we all went Doug DeMuro here.
That was you.
I started it. I don't even know why I did.
That was all you. You went this, and you started it. So.
This? I love I found a video that was a supercut of him saying this in every different way he says it. This.
Yeah, when he does this, 2 syllables.
Alright, is it a description on here?
No. It's just beer.
It's beer from Aldi's.
Belgian-style wheat ale with orange peel and coriander.
So it's actually brewed and bottled by Rockwall Brewing Company in Rochester, New York. It's 5.4 alcohol content by volume. So it's out of New York.
Slancha. Bargain beer.
Salute.
Have I told you about, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Sorry, I had to get that in.
Did I tell you about the time?
I ever tell you about the time my wife
Yeah. I am Lord. La la la.
La la,
Yeah.
la la la. I am Lord.
That's actually not bad.
That's really good.
That's actually
Hold
not
on, I need a second sip because that first one about came out
It's
my
not
nose.
like
That one about came out my nose, so I got a little.
it's
tingle
nothing
going on
special.
there.
It's a Belgian style wheat ale with orange peel and coriander. That is like exactly as advertised. There are no surprises here.
none.
It's tasty. It's drinkable,
Yeah, it's
and it was like
It is
$5.
Like you said, it is exactly what's on the label. It is a Belgian style wheat ale
like you take a
with
drink
orange
of it,
peel
you
and
go
coriander. You're like, oh, there's Belgium,
Belgian wheat, orange peel,
coriander.
Yep.
Okay,
that's what it is.
It's what it is.
and it's
All
liquid.
right. Okay, I'm not even mad.
And it's liquid.
So that is White Tide from
Aldi. It's not Aldi's, it's Aldi.
Aldi.
It's Aldi.
Aldi.
All these beers are going
All
in my
these
stomach.
beers.
I
I saw it and I was like, I mean, it's a Belgian style wheat ale with orange peel and coriander. What could go wrong?
We've asked that question before.
I
and
know,
we-
but hey, nothing went wrong.
Not
Not
we've
on this
asked
time.
that question a lot of what could go wrong.
I
Our
can't-
roads
it's
start,
like, I can't-
tires pop.
I can't think of a
transmission
single
goes
thing.
out.
Brakes lock up, wheel falls off, car overheats,
Car catches on fire.
you get hit with the basket from some guy's power scooter.
We don't say that anymore.
Roller follower locks up.
Hey, at least it's going on. So, well, did we didn't talk about that?
Yeah,
did we?
so I know it's been mentioned before that the Mustang has been down. I did finally get it fixed. I pulled the passenger side valve cover off and found one of the roller followers had seized up, and that was all that was creating that ticking noise. So replaced the one follower. It is now perfect again.
And luckily you didn't wipe the cam,
Yep. Mild scratches, that's it.
but you
which
can't catch a nail in them or anything. So
I was impressed at how well the cam held up because the followers ate up bad.
yeah, that thing was chewed up pretty.
Like it's chewed. It's got a whole flat spot on it.
Yeah, and even the body of the follower itself.
Oh, yeah,
you
you-
can see
yeah, you
where
can
it had
tell,
fallen
yeah.
down, and the cam had ground a groove into the side of that.
So we actually had footage of that, but we attached the camera to Tippy, and we got everything else but the car.
Right.
So
Yeah, we got some.
There's
pretty
a lot of squirrels,
go for holes,
gopher holes, turtles.
treats.
No car.
Yeah,
Tippy is a very poor cameraman.
yeah. That you're gonna have to work on that. You have to train that one a little bit better.
We could have put it on Willie.
Willie would have stood there. I should have thought of that. But Willie would have just stood right next to me the whole time.
All right, I got your camera. I'm good. Got the shot. Got the footage.
It'd be like if we put it on Lady, it would have been bum 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 bum. Stand next to us, bum 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 bum. Lemmy would have just been crotch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's crotch is on camera.
Yeah. Lemmy likes to check oil.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's good that it's back up and going and all that. So
Yeah, and like I said, you guys saw how mine turned out from it was mostly material transfer, and like I went out.
which I was surprised because
Dude,
I
I
mean
went
when
out-
we first looked at it, it looked like it was going to
in the
be.
paint. It looked like
yeah.
it was gnarly.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. I ran my finger across. I'm like, wait a minute. This feels like it's above the surface. I might be all right here. And right after that, one of the troopers after she's like, "You're gonna file a claim on this?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't think so." Honestly, I need to repaint the front bumper anyway. And if I do that, I'm just gonna get another bumper, paint it, and let it chill out in the garage for a couple months, and then put it on the car.
Yeah.
And same thing with the back one. So
Well,
it's like,
and that's like with Sabrina's front bumper. Like Timmy even said, was like
just get another one.
at that point, just buy another one, paint that. It is we're gonna save money trying to remove all the shit.
Yeah.
and that, just do that. And
Yeah,
then
because
put it on the car.
what you spend on the bumper cover is going to be way less than the labor involved getting all that
Yep.
shit off.
Yeah.
So I went out like the next day. I was like, all right, you know what? It's happened. Whatever.
Gonna
And
say
nope.
he sent a picture of the fucking his
Nope.
whole entire arsenal, and we're like,
I
oh,
went out
Brian's
there
going
with-
for it.
broke out the polisher, the whole package of
I
pads.
figured it was going to be a couple hours.
Everything I had. I went out.
20 minutes later, I'm like, oh, shit.
It wasn't even 20 minutes later.
He went zzz, and it came right off.
I took just a small waffle weave, a fine waffle weave towel, sprayed some invisible glass on it because I wanted to clean the area first, and that wiped all the material transfer off, and it just left a few little very light scuffs. And then broke out one pad, 3 passes on the bumper, 3 passes on the area of the hood. The only thing that's left is a couple of half-inch long deep scratch that I can catch my nail in.
But it's one of those, looking at them, you have to look at it at a certain angle. If you are coming straight on to the hood,
yeah, you don't really
see it. If you're at like the sides, you don't see it. You have to literally go, oh, there, because he was pointing it out to me. I'm like, Brian, I don't see it. He's like, no, stand over here. I'm like, okay, I see it. I don't see it anywhere else.
And then I was like, clink, 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 clink with a fingernail.
Yeah, but besides that, like, just the way it is,
yeah, like I said, I went out with my whole arsenal expecting to go into battle. 10 or 15 minutes tops, and it was done. So.
I was gonna say, yeah, you sent the thing, and I was like, shit, I'm like, did I sleep? No, literally. Okay, well, all right.
So it was one of those cases where, it'll buff right out.
It really did.
Actually did just buff right out.
Yeah, that'll buff out.
So, yeah. But seriously, the first thought when I first heard something bounce off the car, I was like, did I just have a part of a dude bounce off the Okay, wait a minute. Was that man part that just bounced off my car or something else?
Yeah.
And it launched the basket pretty good. Like, it launched it off the scooter, banged off my bumper, and then launched it.
The basket went probably 20, 30 yards.
Yeah, it bounced it back past the stop sign over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was what I told the first deputy. I was like, look, something hit my car and bounced off and went that way. At first, I thought it was the guy's head, but apparently it was that thing over there, and he picked it up, and it was the basket. And he was like, where were you at? I'm like, oh, back there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it moved pretty good, so. But, yeah, this beer's good. This beer's good.
Yeah, I'm not mad
at all.
For
a cheap beer from Aldi's?
I like cheap beer.
I mean,
I love cheap beer. As anybody can tell, you know, the amount of shit that I get. Oh, you're drinking Natty Light. Listen, I do have good taste in beer. When I want quality over quantity, trust me, I can spend $50 on a 4-pack. We've done that.
Yes, we have.
With the 120 minute and that is at that point 40% and all that. We've done that. But when I want quantity over quality,
it's Miller time.
It's Coors. It's Banquet. It's Natty Light.
Right now at Dollar General, the 15 packs of Natty Light are on sale for $9.
Right.
You can get a 30-pack for the price of most 12 packs.
Right.
When you're just trying to get fucked up.
It'll do the job.
It'll do the job.
It'll do the job.
At that point, you're not going for taste.
Cheap beer. It'll get you
drunk.
Yeah. So glad that
we can't finish the rest of it. So
glad those days are behind me. Yeah. So glad those days are behind me.
Yeah. No, well, we're not Mad Dog 2020 in it.
I learned that lesson early on.
Yeah,
that was bad.
You don't MD 2020 it.
So recently, a couple of my buddies from back in the day, a few years ago, they decided to revisit old times and decided to get themselves an MD 2020 and some Sprite. Hey, look, when you were in high school, it was fine.
Yeah.
When you're a grown-ass man,
no.
It is not fine.
No.
I'm not going to sit and chug out of a bottle of Boone's Farm ever again. You know why?
Because I'm a grown-ass man.
Grown-ass man. I can go to the store and buy something that tastes good.
I don't have to rely on somebody else to get it for me.
Right. Yeah.
And pretty much been doubled because whatever that you... Allegedly, whatever they bought for you, you had to buy for them too.
Right.
It was a losing proposition. And if the cops came out and made you pour it out on the campfire... Well, then you're really out double everything, and that night sucks.
Yes. No, I'm able to buy something enjoyable. Yeah, no. Oh, God, those. Oh. When just even thinking about a certain alcohol, just goes, nope.
Milwaukee's best.
No, Jaeger. I love Jaeger.
Seagram's 7 is Seagram 7 is the one for me.
Brian remembers that our housewarming party. I puked here. I puked in the side yard. Puked in the front yard. Puked in that front yard.
Hold on. It's easier to pick the places you did not puke.
The bathroom.
Right there is a place you did not puke that night.
Canadian Mist whiskey.
Oh.
I had me a rough night on Canadian Mist whiskey.
I had a hell of a night with Seagram 7s, and the next day was brutal.
Yeah, but at least that's a little step up from Canadian Mist.
Oh yeah, it is a step up, but in the end, when it messes you up the next day that bad, and the following day is that rough, to this day, if I smell it, I'm just like, nothing good will come from this. No, nothing.
Sometimes depends on the smell.
I've been hammered on tequila. Been hungover from tequila. Had some pretty rowdy hangovers from tequila.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love tequila.
None of it compares to what that Seagram 7s did to me. Okay, and like I said, I can smell the tequila now, and I'm fine. I rarely do shots. I can do a shot of tequila, and I'll be like, all right, I'm good. Tomorrow morning, I'm good. Seagram 7, just smelling it just makes me go, no, nothing.
You know what? I'm gonna go home.
Nothing good will come from this. That's it. Forget it. You win. I'm out.
Do y'all have a big poking stick? Why? I'm gonna shove it in the 1 foot I have. I'm gonna shove it in
to remind me of how bad that next day was for that shit. For some reason, I'm needing to experience that level of pain, something on that level of pain, to remind me, don't do that.
Right.
Oh, man. Well,
so, what's the other one? So you said Jaeger?
Mm-hmm.
So Jaeger and...
Rumplemintz?
No, Goldschlager.
Ugh.
I shit gold. The doctor thought I had Crohn's disease. I love Goldschlager, okay? Because the new generation gets fucked up on antifreeze and that, where we would do so much Goldschlager.
I cannot smell Goldschlager to this day.
That and Hypnotic. That and Hypnotic with the blue Powerade.
You ever puked blue before?
Yes, many times.
You will.
I've puked and shit blue before because of that. Like, oh,
Happy New Year, guys.
It comes out the same color it went in.
Same fucking color.
Everything's that, like, neon blue.
Yeah, I'm so glad I never experienced that.
But see, the thing was, at least you mixed it with Powerade, so...
Wait, you were supposed to mix it? Maybe that's what I was doing wrong.
You do half and half, the Hypnotic and the Powerade.
No, I'm good.
And it tasted exactly the same if you were drinking
it
straight.
It made you less dehydrated. But
at least you're a well-hydrated drunk.
Well, somewhat. It made it to where losing fluids didn't screw
you didn't lose
too
as much fluids.
Yes.
You were still screwed.
Rough nights we have had.
Which is why I won't do blue Powerade or Gatorade anymore. I can't do that. I can't do that. No. Or Rumplemints. Oh no, see, I still like Rumplemints. Peppermint Schnapps.
Oh, something that might be of interest to you, because my dad actually pointed. He's like, "Hey, he's like, what do you think of this?" And it was a 2013 either Kia or Hyundai that was in the paper in the classifieds.
Wait, hold on.
70,000.
Classifieds?
Hey, I live with an old. Hey, I'm old. Dad's old. Newspapers. But look, when Skynet becomes self-aware and crashes the internet, and you guys can't get information. I can still know how to read a newspaper.
I can read a newspaper. Do it.
Sure.
Yeah,
but anyway, like I said, it was like a 2013 Hyundai or Kia with 70,000 miles with a rebuilt engine with a 1-year warranty.
Yep.
And I was like, that was a car that didn't quite make the recall list.
Oof.
Oh.
That's going to be rough.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be rough.
I was going to say, at least sister-in-law's engine made it to the thing. Apparently something else happened.
Yeah.
I'm just like, just trade the car.
Trade it for a Honda.
Get out of it.
Yeah. Get a Nissan Rogue.
It's doing something else.
A Nissan Rogue would be better than that thing.
Run. But I just got. I'm like, run. Like, she's like, but it's under warranty. I'm like, I don't care. Go.
Got your losses.
Like, just at this point, like, I know it's a brand new motor. Go.
Get it.
Go.
Let the warranty fix it and kick that bitch down the road.
Like, just go. Like, leave that thing behind, please.
Get a Pilot. Get a CRV.
Anything.
Get a RAV4. Get a Rogue even.
I wish I could
At
find
that
a
point,
first
even
gen
fucking
CRV.
Oh, There was one for sale that was a 5-speed manual, all-wheel drive, B20, in Spring Hill. All it needed was a new front and rear drive shaft made for it, and the guy was selling it for $2,000. It only had 150,000 miles, ran perfect, just couldn't drive it because no drive
Less
shafts.
than a mile in that direction. I don't know if it's still there or not, but there was somebody that carried mail that had a right-hand drive first-gen CRV. Because I know they
traded it. They did something.
So speaking of that, so I've seen the little green and silver Mitsubishi or whatever the hell that thing was that I sent you guys. That's still running. Not the Colt. The little 4-door little SUV thing, green and teal and silver with the taxi mirror on the one side. That thing's still running around. And today I saw some kind of mid-90s Nissan wagon. I couldn't make out the badge on the deck lid because as I pulled into the parking lot, she was backing out. Some right-hand drive, mid to late 90s Nissan.
Was it for mail?
No. Nissan station 4-door wagon that was being used as a mail carrier.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. It was
mail.
for mail.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the name of the thing was. I couldn't make out the badge on the deck lid because she was backing up.
Yeah.
I just badged it was a Nissan. I was like, huh.
I love how, they're starting to come over for bringing mail cars.
Well, back in the day, Subaru, rural mail carriers could go to Subaru and order a right-hand drive legacy wagon.
As long as you were saying, hey, I deliver mail and all that, they would do it.
Because back in the day,
it would come from the islands at that point.
But it would have all U.S. emissions on it. But back in the day, there was one that ran up and down Croft. I used to see it all the time and be like, wait, what the hell?
There was a guy that had a Jeep Cherokee that was...
Yeah, all of those they got from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, and it was red. He brought it in when I worked at Tire Kingdom, and
Two Legs worked on one of those too.
Yep.
And let me tell you what, that is the weirdest sensation. You get in on the passenger side, and there's a steering wheel, and you're trying to drive it, and everything just throws you off.
See, completely. No, that doesn't bother me. That does not bother me. It threw me
off so bad I could barely pull the thing into the shop. Just because you're so conditioned that I am, and this is how far over the side goes. It breaks your OODA loop.
But the thing is now, like I said, I recently drove something that at this point and I did not master this car. I would need several more times of driving this thing to really kind of take the one-legged thing out of it. I don't care who you are or how many legs you have. You get in that car, the Model T, and try to drive it, everybody's going to have a...
because it's all hand controls.
No, it's hand controls and weird-ass foot controls that none of the shit does what you think it's going to do. Anybody.
Your middle pedal goes, this one over here is a brake, this one over here shifts to the next level.
Car, it is a steep learning curve. Okay? So, like I said, any of us would need multiple times driving that vehicle, and I certainly do as well. But after driving that, I can pretty much goddamn drive anything.
Yeah.
Okay? That's just where I'm at this point. I'm like, I drove that.
Yeah, no, anybody that can drive a Model T can drive anything.
Yeah, I pretty sure I can damn near drive anything.
Because that is before the standard. What
well,
Cadillac did.
Cadillac
standards.
came out with that. Well, the Model T kind of. Henry Ford was weird. Henry Ford was not an engineer. Like all those early cars, like the Model Ts and stuff like that, a lot of stuff was engineered and done by the Dodge brothers.
Yeah.
Henry's thing was business and the manufacturing side of it. But the engineering and stuff like that, a lot of that was the Dodge brothers. And then later on, towards the end of the Model T's life, Edsel Ford.
Yep.
Edsel was a brilliant designer. And Edsel was
look at Edsel. Sadly it failed, but goddamn, that was a beautiful fucking car.
But I'm just saying, Edsel Ford was a brilliant designer, and he was the one that kept trying to push Henry, hey, we need to update our car, a lot. And Henry was reluctant to that, when Dodge it was Dodge, one of the ones came out with hydraulic brakes. Henry Ford was like, oh, that'll never work.
Right.
Still
the standard today.
Yeah, juice brakes. But, so like I said, that was, so when they did 27 or 28 or 29 for the Model A, when that came out, that was Edsel. That, so then you got, by that time, Cadillac had already done, like Cadillac, I think, was the first one that did the 18, 3 pedals.
18 or 19 was when they did it.
For Cadillac. Like, they were the first manufacturer worldwide to do the 3 pedals.
To throttle, brake, throttle, brake, clutch. No matter what side you're on. It would be the same thing with Japanese cars and all that.
Like they were the one. So that had been around, and the Studebaker that I drove had that arrangement. It also had...
And that was a 21.
21 Studebaker. Like I said, it had the correct same pedal arrangement on the floor, but it also had, a throttle hold or a throttle stop on the wheel, kind of like
Did it have timing on there too?
Yeah, it just had a spark advance, but you didn't have to monkey with it as much as you did with the T. Like
the T, you got a throttle and spark advance, and no matter what you do, like if you're moving one, you got to move the other.
So there's levers and there's pulls on those levers.
So the T is really, like I said, this one had been configured with electric start and a 2-speed overdrive rear axle. Mm-hmm. But we didn't mess with the overdrive rear axle. We just left it in overdrive when we were driving this thing. So for this one, because it had electric start, it had battery power and also magneto power for the engine. So what you do is you would turn the key to battery, turn the switch to battery, give a little fuel, give a little spark, and you would hit the starter button on the floor. And then you would basically until it fired up. But once it fired up and you got the timing sorted out, you didn't have to mess with the timing anymore. And the thing would just runs like a little sewing machine. It's an absolute jewel of a little engine. Yeah. Considering that when it was designed and all, it's just a jewel of a little engine. Not a lot of power, 30 horsepower, something like that. And then the left pedal, sort of when it's in the middle, everything's neutral. So you have to push the left pedal all the way down to the floor as you're adding throttle, and that engages the band for the first gear planetary set. Right. And you have to hold it there. Mm-hmm. It's not like you can just push it down and forget it. You have to hold it there, and it's trying to spring back on you all the time. And then when you're ready to shift, as you gain speed, you chop the throttle, let it out, stop, and then you let it out again, take your foot off of it, and that engages the second gear planetary, and then you kind of crank throttle back into it.
And you're automatically at 40 miles per hour. Well, 30.
About 35.
Yeah.
But
that's what you go. There's no in between.
No. The day before I drove it, we picked it up at Mike Bonadonna's and drove it back to Dick's place. Going down the hill on 486 towards Ottawa, GPS speedometer on my phone, we hit 55 miles an hour in that fucking thing. We hit 55 miles an hour. That thing was just all over the place. I was like, Ed was following behind us, and Ed even said, he was like, man, I was just following along at 35, and next thing you know, I look down, I'm following. He's like, how the hell are we going to hit downhill in a tailwind, literally.
Yep.
But yeah,
but that's crazy. It's one of those you don't have basically it's an on and off switch.
But wait,
I'm doing 20. I'm going this fast now.
But wait, there's more. I did forget the part. After you start it up, once the engine's running, you flick the switch to magneto, and at that point, it's just magneto.
Yeah, you're not.
The battery is there just to turn the starter motor and to light the ignition, and then you turn it to magneto, and it's just going to run until you kill the magneto.
It's almost like that way with like diesel type deal, like
kind of like a lawnmower actually.
Oh,
This thing's very agricultural. It's like a tractor.
Yep.
But,
you gotta think of the time frame and all that. Like
exactly,
any type of motor like that is going to be used as an agriculture or industrial.
Yeah, but setting. So once you have it running on magneto, so now that you're running, you want to stop. Really, you do need 2 feet for this because the right pedal is your brake. And it operates, it's cable-operated drums in the back. Problem is, this pedal's engaged.
Right.
There is no neutral on this thing, really. So you have to push this pedal back into the middle and hold it, and then apply the brake. Or in my case, grab the handbrake. Because the handbrake, same cable, same brakes, but when you pull the handbrake back, it automatically sets the pedals and throws everything into neutral.
Right.
By the way, that middle pedal, you push that down to engage reverse. Like this thing, I have a short video of me driving the Studebaker. I could not get video of me driving the Model T because, quite frankly, there's just too much shit going on to deal with a phone.
Right.
No, not happening. But
that's crazy. I've always known like they're finicky and like there's so much going on, but it's
But the thing is though, if I had the chance to drive that car again, I'm absolutely going to take it because it was such an experience.
Oh,
right. Like I said, that's the thing. It was such an experience to have. And
also, just to think, in 100 years, which 100 years, like, a lot of people think it's not a long time. In 100 years, Ford has gone from that to...
Lightning.
Well,
GT500.
Yeah.
Ford GT.
Full electric cars, again, because, they had electric cars before. Yeah. I mean, battery-powered cars and all that. But still, it's kind of like that peak and then...
Without the car that I drove on Christmas Eve, none of our Mustangs would be here.
No. Right. No, nothing would be here.
None of our Mustangs would be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, so that was a car. So that car is 2 years away from being 100 years old. The other car that I drove is 103 years old.
The Studebaker?
The Studebaker.
Yeah.
It was a 1921. I've driven a car older than me, older than my parents, older than my grandparents.
I was going to say, that's...
Older than some United States cities.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, not older than my grandparents, because when they were born. But, I would love to drive, like, something like that.
Like I said, I mean, honestly, I think he would let you.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that owns these these cars is a real interesting guy.
Like, even just, like, around the yard type deal. Like, I've always wanted to, and that.
And the other thing I noticed about these cars is people were a lot shorter back then. No offense.
Mm-hmm.
I fit perfectly.
You would fit perfectly in this car. But even though, like, the Studebaker, so what we did on the Studebaker was we spun the clutch pedal off of the clutch rod, and basically Dick welded a nut onto a longer rod and put a pad on the end of it and screwed that onto the clutch pedal so that I could just push the clutch with my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good thing he did that, because the floor from the seat to where it starts to kick up is only about yay long. And then it kicks straight up to the firewall at a 45-degree angle. And the pedals come out of the floor at a really high spot in the floor. So just lifting my foot up to touch the brake, my knee was smacking into the steering wheel.
Which means I'm at the perfect driving position.
Right.
I'm at the perfect driving position.
If I went to push the clutch in on that thing, my knee would be above the door frame on the driver's side.
And I'm perfect.
honestly, position would be a little bit weird for you too.
I'm 5'3".
It would be weird for you too, because
5'3",
like I said,
man.
because you're used to pedals coming down towards the floor a lot more. Like I said, the positioning of everything is a lot different. Ergonomics was not a thing back then.
Yeah, no.
They hadn't figured that out yet.
They had not quite figured that out yet.
The engineer would get all done building the car, and he'd get it and go, man, this is really uncomfortable. It's a shame. We should figure something out for that.
No, we're not going to.
Nah, it'll be 20, 30 more years before we get around to that.
It works.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, though, that car was straight cut gears, dogleg 3-speed crash box.
Oh, so you gotta go neutral.
Yeah.
Try to rev match.
Got a neutral, do a little rev matching. Basically,
no matter what, you're gonna it.
I mean, I got a few shifts in there where it was clean, but I mean, there's a lot of movement.
Yeah.
It's not like snick through a gated shifter. Well, it's like,
I think this is third.
There's
wiggle,
a gear.
wiggle. Hey, that's a gear.
There's a gate.
Okay. It's like driving a T5.
Worse.
Oh, okay.
T5s are Swiss watches compared to these things.
Holy shit. Okay.
But like I said, it was one of those things. It's like, once you kind of figured it out,
you got it.
And it's like I said. So I mean, I got to check some cool things off the list, kind of right there.
That's awesome.
Flathead engines, crash box transmissions, dogleg transmission. Wait a minute, no, I've driven dogleg before, and pre-work cars. And honestly, the pre-work cars, this is the coolest.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of my that's one of my things that I've
like
always
I said,
wanted to knock off.
I drove a car, an unrestored car. It's a Century.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's unrestored.
It's an unrestored car.
I mean, but it's one of those like we said before, the main usable bits have been changed, like the rubbers and all that.
Yeah, it's got tires on it, it's had hoses, and maintenance over the years.
And stuff like that, but besides that,
as far as I know, I don't think the
like
engines
that.
ever come apart. I don't think the transmissions ever come apart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got leak and grease seals on the front, on the wheels. You can see where the grease is kind of slung up on the rim. 22-inch wheels.
Uh-huh.
They're that wide.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But they're made of wood.
No, they're steel.
Oh, those are okay.
They're steel.
Well, the original ones were
these are steel.
made of
no,
wood.
wait a minute. I think
wood spokes.
This car might have had wooden wheels.
I was gonna say, I know the early models of them had the wooden spokes.
Some of them did. I don't know if this one had the wooden spokes or not. I think the T might have. The T has been converted to wires.
Okay.
But once the car started rolling, pretty easy to steer. Like, it was actually a fairly easy car to drive.
Yeah.
T, not so much.
Yeah.
But it was an experience.
Well, hey, I'm very happy. Like, once you sent me a text, like, what you drove and all that, like, I was very jealous about that. But I'm excited that you got to drive something like I said, and experience that. Because that's an experience that not many people get to do. Not many people get to experience that nowadays. Like, so... Good
so,
shit,
I mean, how many one-legged dudes have driven a T?
How many two-legged people still on this earth have driven a T?
Mike Monadonna,
well, I mean...
Weird cars is Mike's thing.
Yeah.
He was not able to really move that car except for a little bit in his driveway. He still hadn't quite figured that thing out. Mm-hmm. So...
I was going to say, yeah, because he's driven some weird shit before.
Yeah, he has. But
He's driven some weird shit before.
But, I mean, how many one-legged guys have driven a Model T and a Studebaker on the same day?
Right.
This guy, here.
Mean, might be the only one.
Well, depending on who came back from World War One. I mean.
But, I mean...
I'm sorry.
No, you're not wrong.
I know,
you're not wrong.
Right?
You are not wrong.
You might be the only living one.
Like,
yes,
yeah, exactly.
Probably the only living one doing that. But, so... Like I said, even if I don't have any more weird automotive experiences, those two right there, the two cars that I drove on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's going to be hard to top those.
That's the thing that is very hard to top.
You know, like I said, and the other Michael, very generous, let me drive his GT500. Mm-hmm. So that's another kind of thing with the T is that I've driven like the beginning, and then I've driven like the two of the three most modern Fords that are out there.
Right.
And sometimes I still have a hard time wrapping my brain around all of that, just how far apart these cars are.
Oh yeah.
But also, these and ours wouldn't exist without the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's just it's still.
It's mind-boggling.
Well,
it is.
A lot of this country would not exist without the Model T.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the car that built this country.
Mm-hmm.
That. Him coming up with that idea of doing the assembly line
there were cars. That's the car that came to the masses. That's the car that made motoring affordable, that made mobility affordable.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was the businessman that went, listen, my workers need to be able to afford this. It has to be cheap enough for them to afford. And I have to pay them enough for them to afford it. And I want them to have enough days off
to use it.
To go, I'm going to buy a car. I get 2 days off a week. I'm going to go buy a car so I can take the family out on the weekends.
No.
Because
I'll
before
say
that,
I'll say this for after. This for after.
But yeah, like I said, so very interesting experience, and I'm really glad to have had it. And like I said, it's just cool that people just let me do that.
And it's one of those. Just the fact that it was, you got to think, 100 years ago, doesn't seem like that long ago, and you got like that compared to what we got now. Like, that's an amazing technology. Like how it's come about. Like that's wonderful.
Yes,
and also in one century, that's what we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also too, like Richard Garrett, he drives Mr. N's, A's and T's and stuff like that around. So I mean, he's obviously figured them out too. So it's just, it is kind of a lost art. It's a dying thing. Somebody still has to learn how to drive and keep these cars around so people know what they are.
It's the same thing with manual transmissions. Like once you know, and
you do.
Like
certainly,
it's one of those. I think at that point, we've all been able to drive manual transmissions and all that. If we have had the opportunity to drive, Model Ts and all that stuff, it would have been one of those. You get it once you get it. You get it. Like it's one of those. It might be 30 years down the way, and it might take like 5 minutes, but it's all right.
Oh yeah,
I remember this. Okay,
I got this.
It's like, as they say, it's like riding a bicycle. You might fall down the first couple times, and you're like, oh, okay, I remember this.
Yeah.
It's muscle memory.
Muscle memory, and just shared memory. Like I said, the experience. Most of all, like I said, I mean. Sounds corny, but like I said, the generosity of the owners of these cars that let me drive them, and the cars themselves, the experience was, it was cool.
Yeah.
So but then like I said, the greedy side of me does say, I hope I can drive more cool shit this year.
All right.
Yeah. Well, before we end, I know me and you knew him and that. want to say, rest in peace, Ken.
Yes.
And that known one of our local car people, Ken McNally, passed away just
a week ago.
Yeah, a week ago.
Rather quickly, rather unexpectedly.
Yes.
Like I said,
I've known him since I was 14. He was one of the first people that I met.
He was active in the Mustang Club. He was active at the Mopar Club, the Corvette Camaro Club.
Him and Mike started the Mopar Club. Yeah, like I said, started the Corvette and Camaro Club, and that
they ran the car meet Friday Night Thunder around the Citrus County Courthouse for many years. He handled a lot of the paperwork for the club for us for many years,
and then also the newspaper,
and did a lot. I mean, and he was a true gentleman.
Yes, he was always super nice. He loved seeing me and Sabrina anytime we came out and all that. And he was just always wonderful to talk to and super nice. Him and his wife were always very, very nice to us. And it's one of those I remember meeting him when I was 15, and I'm about to be 31, and it's one of those too. Now I'm realizing a lot of the people that got me into the scene are, starting to go away, and it's
I don't know if you ever met Ken or not.
I don't think so.
But I mean,
very, very nice dude.
Yeah, like I said, a gentleman.
Yep.
A real gentleman, and for a while there, he did have a pretty eclectic car collection.
Yeah.
He always had something cool, something new,
something cool, something weird, and we always picked
on. Every now and then, he would get a little rowdy behind the wheel.
He would. Or his wife would. She would hit the cutouts and
she would just
do a burnout, and he's like, "What is she doing?" I'm like, we told her to do a burnout.
We said do a burnout, and she did. Sorry,
but he had some.
Had some cool cars.
Cars, some weird cars, and we always gave him shit for the amount of stickers he put on his cars. But
yeah, he did like his stickers.
He'd always laugh and be like, "Hey, I put on an extra sticker for you guys." And I'm like, "Okay, Ken.
All right, okay. Show me what you got." So it was passing of a true gentleman, and he'll be missed. He was really good guy.
Yeah.
So Ken.
Yep.
Cheers, buddy.
I'll drink to him.
Yep. So. Besides that, I think we're pretty much done. We don't have a car for this evening.
Yeah, throwing a day off. I forgot the auction car, so
it's all good.
Well,
it's all good. I think we had a great episode. We had great fan communication. Thank you guys for everybody that communicated with us. We currently still have 5 people watching, which is holy crap. We got 5 people watching.
Yep, we've got 10 separate views.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Everybody have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you for watching, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, guys. See you. Did you end it?
Yes.
Shit.
What?
We forgot to announce that you got fucking engaged.